Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 96.
Congratulations, you showed up. Give yourself a high five in celebration of your success. Welcome to the Cashflow Diary, where new and experienced investors come to take confident action towards their goals. Your host is a family man, a real estate entrepreneur, investor, coach, and instructor. As a master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's Cashflow 101 game, he's inspired many to begin their journey into creating cash flow for themselves and their family. And now, here he is to offer you the tools required to earn the income desired. Your cash flow coach, Jay Massey.
Okay, welcome back. And I should say welcome back to me as well, because I'm back in the U.S. and it's exciting to be back. Long plane trip. So if you were listening to the previous episode, you know all about the fact that I was in Lithuania with Simon Black and a number of other great entrepreneurs and a ton of students from around the world, speaking multiple languages, all looking for the language of entrepreneurship and liberty. And it was absolutely awesome. And I was glad to be there. So here's what we're going to do. All I'm going to do is share with you, just like we did on the previous episode, because I hear from you guys and you're like, man, we like those episodes where you get questions and answers and it's kind of like being at the seminar, but not. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that one more time. So this will be your last glimpse. If you were unable to make it there, this is the last shot you got at being able to hear it from the inside. Maybe next time what you should do is you should apply so that you could be a part of such a great event. Here we go.
You mentioned that sometimes you're not actually acquiring the properties. You're basically, almost doing somewhat of like a referral. Like, I get paid $5,000 to sell them the. I just love to hear more about that process because.
It's not connected. All I do is I buy. Have you played Cashflow yet?
Yeah, I played on the first night.
Okay, you remember? Yeah, that's fine. You remember there are times where in the game where someone picked up a card and it said, use this yourself or sell to another player.
Yeah.
And then they sold it to another player. That's the process. I find the deal. I put it under contract. I take that paper and sell it to another player. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. Yep, that's simple. All right. Anyone else? Yes.
Yes. Well, you have very good sales skills, and for sure that came with the experience. But in the beginning, did you take any classes or did something to get those skills?
Yes. I fail fast. I fail forward. I fail frequently. With.
Did you recommend going to Toastmaster and all that stuff?
Hold on. I actually get to write something down. This is cool. So I said I fail forward, I fail fast, and I fail frequently while doing this. Now, when you see luck, you're thinking, I don't know, maybe something accidentally happened to me. Here's what I'm thinking. Laboring under correct knowledge. That's what I did. I fell forward while laboring under correct knowledge. So I gained access to a sales system and many sales books, which are always freely available. There's tons of that stuff. Obviously now I went and put my sales system into a video course to make it simpler for people to hopefully make some shortcuts. So yes, between learning to speak in public, probably the one skill that if more of you did, you'd make more progress faster than any other, but also the scariest for most, therefore you probably won't do it, which is unfortunate. Okay, however, if you did, it would help you. And Toastmasters, yes, is a very important place, but don't just go to Toastmasters. I need you to compete. And by compete, I mean they have competitions. The best competition, if you want to become a better speaker, is to be participating in the evaluator competition. What I mean by that is there's a competition of the best and most critical evaluators. The competition is between, let's say, 5 to 10 of the best evaluators in your geographic area. They're competing, all criticizing the same one speaker, which should be you. So you've got people who have decades of experience. You're the one bumbling on stage, and you get to hear all the things that they are saying about you that you need to improve to make you better. And that's what I did. And it hurt. But I listened and I made the adjustments, and therefore I improved much faster because I got the input of people who had seen decades upon decades of many different speakers of all different varieties and kinds, with humor, with drama, with inspirational speeches, all this other stuff. They taught me how to connect with people, how to get audience response. You probably have noticed when I speak, we tend to have an interaction more than me talking at you. Right? You feel like you're a part of this journey in various ways. Maybe you felt a little bit more awake than not. That's great. All of those things are things that are necessary. Learning how to facilitate a discussion, which is what happens when we come play cash flow, right? All of those things came from there. Okay? And it's pennies compared to the value to join. The work is in actually doing the assignments and showing up and making that happen consistently and being willing to compete, being willing, inviting that feedback you're afraid of, inviting it and doing it consistently. And then going out there, knowing that you don't know what you're doing, but trying anyway and failing and figuring it out as you go. Yes?
Before you mentioned how usually people ready, aim, fire. You said you aim, fire.
No, I said fire, aim, ready. But what's more accurate is that I fire, then I fire again, then I aim, then I fire again, then I probably fire one more time, then I aim, then I fire. And then I think about getting ready, but I fire one more time, and then I aim, and then I get ready. That's probably how I do it. I do lots of firing. I just go. Like, for example, this is my point with the online stuff. I've told you guys many times, I'm the newest guy onto the online marketplace, right? Of the ones that are here. And I just fired last month. That's all I did. I have no idea how to repeat this. And I've been talking to Cliff all weekend, like, dude, can you help me repeat this? He's like, yeah, I can. Good, because I can show you what I did. And if you can help me repeat it, that'd be great. Because would you want to repeat this? Yeah, me too. yeah, me too. So I'm like, cool. All I did was fire because I didn't know what was going to happen. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Let's do that again because I didn't know what was going to work. I never know. I just fire. Oh, that worked. So let's do that again. And that's the point. That's been the way I operate. Now, many of you probably want to see the entire staircase before you step on the first level. I don't need to. That's my advantage. It's also my weakness because I create a mess, right? I also waste some energy at the beginning because I'm going very inefficiently in multiple directions. So I don't know the quote-unquote best path, but I start. Because I start, all I got to do is surround myself with people who know how to finish, organize, and follow through. Because they're attracted to the guy who starts, which is great. Yes?
But you still do like research, right? Like, do you have an idea?
You mean before or after?
Like before.
Before what?
I was just saying, like, you just.
No, I didn't do any research. Someone said, hey, do this. I said, great, I'll do it. I move at the speed of instruction and I find out. Why bother researching? I can research till the cows come home. It doesn't matter. Until I ask someone to buy. It doesn't matter. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if you, I don't know if you, like, let's say Cliff had some material, you read the book, right? So you might have like more of an idea.
I wouldn't read the book. I'd read the chapter, do what was in that chapter, then go back to reading to the next chapter. I wouldn't read the book. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a different way and different mode of operating. I don't need to see the whole staircase. If I just need what's the first thing? Okay, I'll do that. I'll be back. Okay, I'm done with that. Now what's next? Yes?
See, the thing is, with business, they say support is really, really important.
Support? Yes.
Especially from your...
Agreed.
I mean, does having a spouse give you the support and advantage you need to make you succeed in business?
Having a spouse can. Having a supportive spouse will. Yes. Yes. But it doesn't have to be a spouse. You can gain support in many different ways. An online community could be a form of support. You could gain support. You got one. Dude, it's right here.
I'm just wondering in terms of the whole wife thing, because I keep hearing.
The wife is important.
A businessman can't be a businessman unless he has a business.
Well, let me put it this way.
Man is a strong woman.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Well, here's the thing. There is an element to learning how to work with the opposite sex that makes you better in many different categories. There's an element to being a parent that really helps you with a lot of your customers. Those two things, there's so much practice you get on a daily basis in learning how to speak and communicate clearly, effectively with the opposite sex to get to the goal that requires team building in such a way that it helps you with your internal team and helps you relate with many different people. There's an element of how to communicate to children and getting them to cooperate and do the things you want them to do, the proper calls to action, etc., that relates to being your customer. When customers and children are upset, you kind of handle them the same way. Okay? When your team member is upset, you kind of handle them very similarly to you do your spouse. It's just, there is an advantage, yeah, because I get more practice at it. I do. However, doesn't mean you can't do it because you can't succeed without it, but you need some form of it somewhere. Now, with today, between Skype and FaceTime and the Facebook groups and all this other stuff, we're more connected than we've ever been. Google Hangouts, all this stuff. You got so many ways of being accountable and making those types of relationships happen. It's just most people don't think about using those technologies in that way for that purpose. And they should, because it's on your phone. Yeah.
So I came in a bit late because I was live in the bathroom, but I heard you talking about Toastmasters.
Yes.
Are there any other services or trainings or
for speaking?
Like that specifically help you with whatever? Any?
Well, yeah, there are tons. I mean, but they were specifically referring to speaking. Is there some specific skill set that you're referring to in general? Because there's too many. I mean, you got to understand. I'm almost willing. It would be interesting to see how much money the people that have been speaking have spent in personal development. Okay. It'd probably be a 7-figure number, I'm guessing. Combined? Yeah, easily. Yeah, combined. Yeah, I can see that because there's too many to recommend. That's why I'm saying make it more specific for me because it'll be easier. We spend a significant amount of time in personal development, reading books, going to seminars, listening to other people's stuff because we know we don't know everything. And we're not going to live long enough to make all the mistakes, so I might as well borrow some of yours and make some shortcuts, right? So yeah, it's a lot. Give me a specific area that'll help me help you. Yes?
They say you're the average of the 5 people you communicate the most with.
Sure.
Do you believe that? And if you do you make it actively to get rid of those people, or do they create naturally? Got it.
The two things happens. I do believe that their environment trumps will. Environment trumps will. You can have lots of willpower, but who you hang around, yeah, that's going to make a huge difference. So do I believe that to a degree? Absolutely. Now, I get to choose when and who I hang around people and how they influence me, okay? So by default, some of those individuals, just because some of the individuals, like before I was doing real estate and all this stuff, I still hang out with some of them. We just don't do, or I just don't talk about certain things, right? They have no frame of reference. They have no way to relate, and I have no way to relate either anymore. It just doesn't quite work, right? But that doesn't mean I just suddenly never talk to them again. Now, there are some people, I never talk to them again, okay? However, that doesn't mean that. But I also, therefore, then slant my schedule to spend more time, invest more time with those who are going in the direction that I want to go, i.e., one of the reasons I came here. Because the way that I saw in the marketing copy, I'm thinking, okay, these are going to be people that are going to want to hang around. They should be. That's what it says. We'll find out when I get here. God, I'm glad it was right. Because it would have been painful for me. It was like, oh God, when can I go home? That was a long plane flight. You know? All those types of things. So I invest more time here. You also, quote unquote, invest time when you are consuming someone's content. be that a podcast, be that a YouTube video, be that their book. So that's another way to spend time with a person because you're spending it in their mind in various different ways. So that's one of the things that you want to be thinking about. You know, how many of the biographies of the successful people that you aspire to be like have you read? If the answer is 0, well, now you know how you can go spend some time with them, right? How many of the podcasts of those that you've been inspired by, either this weekend or ever, do you listen to on a semi-regular or regular basis? If the answer is 0, well, now you know. How many of those people who have a YouTube channel do you actually subscribe to that whose videos is producing content that would at least help you? Even if you learn nothing, you're still at least hearing their voice. You're staying connected to the conversation. That's what was important. As I said to all of you when we first got here, I said my goal was to do one thing. Give each of you at least one idea. Now, I haven't done the check yet. I will later. I'm just trying to see if I've done that because I got to find out. Did I do that? And if I didn't, I've got to talk to those people until I do and figure out what that looks like. Because I want everybody to leave with at least one idea. And that's what I'm talking about. Because that one idea could be the very thing you need to go many, many miles forward. Or kilometers, for those of you who are otherwise. I've been trying to translate all weekend. I'm like, okay, hold on. They don't know what a mile is. Let's go with kilometer. Anyway, whatever, details. So, what else? Go ahead.
What effective daily habits do you partake in?
Say that again?
Effective, do you have any habits?
I have many habits. The ones you want or the ones you don't want?
The ones I want.
Got it. Okay, let me preface this by saying Craig is awesome. Let me preface this by saying this, and I'm just like, wow, I am not that. That's all right. Let me say that first. I do pray on a daily basis. I do read my Bible on a semi-regular, if not multiple times a day, because that's where a lot of my spiritual strength comes from. It just does. I love hugging my kids. Oh, that's awesome. It's one of the things I love to do in the morning. I love hugging my kids. It's awesome. It's just fun. I love going bowling. These are the habits that keep me normal, right? It's going bowling. Believe it or not, those extra things that release. Photography is something that I do on a semi-regular basis to keep my mind in a creative state, but not on work, okay? Because that is so hugely important for me. I can't think about work all the time. Well, I could, but I shouldn't. And I've learned that there's times where I should turn that off. It's just difficult to do, and I still have to distract my mind in various ways. I've been consuming a minimum of 2 audiobooks a month for, what year is this? 11 years. Minimum of 2 audiobooks a month for 11 years. Sometimes as many as 5 a month, but as minimum of 2 a month for 11 years. Those things always get me back on track. I regularly attend seminars like these. Now what's interesting is that my seminar attendance is changing from me being in the seat to being on stage. So this is a new experience for me in terms of how frequently this is happening. It seems to be between second quarter and third quarter is when I do most of my traveling and most of my speaking. So that tends that, it's starting to be 3, 4, 5, 6 times a year to where I'm speaking to audiences. But at the same time, you probably have noticed I'm over there on the step taking just as many notes as you are because I'm like, dude, if I'm here, I might as well learn. I need one new idea too, right? And so everywhere I go, though, I am a voracious note taker. I'm really good at asking tons of questions. You probably figured that out already. I'm also one of the best executioners, implementers on the planet. I know how to implement quickly and test and find out. So does it work? I don't know. Let's find out. I mean, those are the habits that I've learned to develop. I've learned to quit asking things like, well, I wonder if that works. It goes straight to, let's go find out. What's the first step? And then I go get that done. And then I've learned to not ask, okay, after I've done the first step, what's the next 12 steps? I don't care. I've disciplined myself to not care about the next 12 steps because they don't matter. And I practice what I call just-in-time learning. I don't need to know until I need to know. So I won't ask until I need to know.
Is this whole just-in-time learning?
Yes, yeah.
In the book or something?
No, you know what? I couldn't fit. I couldn't. I had, and that was the frustrations of writing a book. Is that all the stuff I wanted to put in there would have made the book even bigger. It's already 320 pages, and they were telling me that that's too big. And I'm like, well, we had to make choices. So what I started to do is I made a membership. You've seen me walking around with the video thing. So the reason that I do that is because people who are part of the membership, they get those videos, which is the extra content that I couldn't put in the book with physical examples based upon wherever I am in the world. So they get to see all that and learn as I'm learning, because there's so much that I've learned in a short period of time. I know. You can't put it all in a book, though. It'd be like this thick.
Mind blowing. It's just in time learning.
Yeah, I like it.
I've never heard or read anything similar.
I make up stuff, man.
But to work, just in time learning.
Yeah, because you don't need to know until you need to know. And most of us invest way too much time. See, I just need to see this step. And I'm fine, long as you tell me that there's a place up there. I don't need to look up there. I just need to go, okay, cool. Now that I'm here, I need to see this one. Many of you won't take this step until you know what that step up there is made of, where the wood came from, how many people carved it out, what's the exact centimeters and measurements of it. You won't take that first step until you know that. I don't care. By the time you figured out what it's all made of, and you can tell it to me, by the way, I'm up there. And you're like, how did you get there so quickly? I'm like, I took the first step.
But how much time you need to realize it?
It took forever. Because I was guilty of analysis paralysis. Yeah, it was and again, I say this, what happened to me and my wife, I don't wish on anyone, but that's what was necessary to shock me out of who I was. Because I would sit there and just take notes and do nothing. And that was a period in my life where it required action. Knowing didn't matter. Knowing we didn't eat. I had to do something. Even if I didn't know what I was doing, I had to do it. I had to try. I had to find out. Not really sure the lesson that you may be getting at this particular moment, but I want to make sure that you are getting a lesson for sure. And at the end of the day, go as far as you can see. When you get there, you see further. You've heard me say that, right? Probably even just a few seconds ago. But here's what's important. What's important is simply what that means. Act on what you do know, not on what you don't know. You can't act on what you don't know. Just go out there and take action. And I'm not saying it's comfortable. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying that, they're to act recklessly or without abandon or some sort of, understanding. But what I am saying is act. And that's one of the greatest things that I have learned in this particular entrepreneurial journey is that action beats inaction any day. Even the wrong action is better than no action. And you've heard that said a number of times as well. I'm glad that you guys are listening. Continue. And just so you know, quick update. We are probably getting close to that 30-day window before the new audiobook is going to drop. And it's going to be awesome. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the people we've put together to help us get it all done, because I know a number of you are on the list. If you're not on the list for the audiobook for Cashflow Diary, 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy, and you want to be one of the first to know about it, what you're going to want to do is go over to send a text message to 949-682-3565. 949-682-3565. The key word is audio. That will put you on the list so that once it comes out, we can let you know, hey, here it is, go get it. And that will make it possible. For those of you who don't know, what we did is we wrote a book. We pretty much put a 10-step process in there. We've heard great things about the written book. And here's the fun part for all of you who are going to be receiving the audiobook. There's actually bonus content, because you know what? It takes so long to write a book. So much has happened since then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting some additional bonus content for all of those who have the audiobook, so that it will be the only way to get it is if you have the audiobook. So I think you're going to enjoy that greatly. Again, that's 949-682-3565. The keyword is audio. All you got to do is send one word, AUDIO, to that phone number as a text message, and it'll begin to answer a couple of questions, and you'll be able to be on the list. For those of you internationally, just go ahead and use cashflowdiary.com/audio, and you'll be on the list too. So that's good. Now, let's get back to the rest of the questions.
I don't know if this kind of been technical, and I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but with your real estate investments with the guys that you're working with, on a personal basis, like your business basis, What are you guys doing for like debt financing?
I raise all my capital, be it equity or debt.
But are you looking more for like floating or fixed rates, like long term? Like, are you guys trying to lock in for, like?
I don't care. I'm always raising capital. Whatever the situation calls for, there's that person out there who's willing to accept that kind of deal.
But if you're getting a mortgage on your property,
I raise the capital and create the mortgage. I can take these 7 individuals, 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, I counted, yay. 7 individuals, they can put all the money into one little pot, and that little pot we call an LLC, and I can own the LLC over here with you. And that LLC, even though I'm a part of that LLC, can lend to this LLC, and you and I can own the building while these guys have already agreed to be the lender. I raise it all, and then they end up with a mortgage. Just because the word mortgage, don't get confused, think that that's a bank. I can create my own mortgage. I've done it many times. Right. Fixed or floating or whatever I need. I'm not aiming anything. What do these guys need? Oh, okay, here's how I can use that. I can use that money in this
so
deal.
Being flexible kind of based on what the investors are
always.
Okay.
Yes, always.
But if it's your choice, then what do you prefer?
Fixed debt, of course.
Fixed long-term.
Fixed long-term debt, are you kidding? Especially in an inflationary economy?
So you think that probably interest rates will be higher in 10 20 years?
Whether interest rates are higher or not, I don't really care.
Yeah.
What I care is the purchasing power of the dollar. Interest rates are irrelevant. Purchasing power of the dollar. What will the dollar buy? Not much? Well, cool. Let me go get long-term fixed debt today so that I can buy something today that'll be worth something when the dollar's gone, regardless of the interest rate. Could care less about that. Because the interest rate, remember, I got these people together and created my own interest rate. Right? So it doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
So a lot of times you're probably not working with market rates that kind of.
Never.
Yeah.
I've never done a deal with a bank.
Really?
Not even one. I don't know how. I've said that a number of times this week. I literally don't know how to do a deal with a bank.
It's a pain. There's like 5,000 pages.
I'm sure there is. That's what everyone who deals with banks says. So why would I ever choose that? I don't know.
You want to get creative at cursing?
You're right. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't want that frustration. I'll let you have it. Yes.
Now that you have such a big company, why do you still borrow money? Like, can't you just reinvest what you made in profit?
Well, here's the point. I have a small company. We can have a big one. Make sense? So even if you do have the funds, there are still 6 billion, 7 billion people on the planet. I can do more with your money together than I could ever do with just my own. It never makes business sense. Never makes business sense for me to cut that off. Because banks are going to cut me off at some point. But there's always more people who suddenly wake up to the fact that their 401k or RRSP or whatever it is in your country doesn't quite work like they hoped. And they go, I need a solution. Hi, I'm your solution guy. And when they wake up, I want to be there. And I want to be there because you referred me, not because they saw a marketing piece. Because that shortcuts all the marketing and money all those other people are spending. So therefore, you know what I do? I teach a cash flow game. Seemingly innocent, but very sneaky. You don't think about it. You're like, oh, I'm just playing a game. You sure are. Right? We've been talking about, you want people to know, like, and trust you. What happens during the cash flow game? They get to know, like, and trust you. Simon was talking about, you want to be knowledgeable, but not in a pontificating way. What happens when you teach people how to play a board game? Aren't you demonstrating your competency and your knowledge? And that's not I'm just helping. What? I'm innocent over here. I'm not a sales guy. I'm just a teacher. But I sell stuff. Right? This is why I'm teaching it to you, because it's a great way, especially for those of you who are introverted, to go out there and make this thing happen. Because no one sees it coming. Never. And everybody wants to come play a board game, because there's no way he's going to sell me something. I'm playing a board game. That's why I had to learn how to do it at Starbucks. There's no way he's going to sell me something. It's at Starbucks. He doesn't even wear a suit. Nope. I sure don't.
You don't wear suits?
God, no.
Never.
Maybe twice in the last 6 years. so. Yeah, I mean, I try not to wear, you won't catch me in a suit. That's not my brand identity.
You'd be surprised if he doesn't wear a suit. Mark Cuban doesn't usually like to wear a suit that much.
You don't need a suit.
Richard Branson swears off suits completely.
There's no need for a suit.
Yeah.
I've raised more capital driving in my car at Starbucks than I can even tell you. This is my capital raising outfit. I am ready to go. This is what I need. I need nothing else. This is how you see me nearly everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. I wore a suit when I was on stage with Robert Kiyosaki because that was kind of different. Okay, he would have probably been upset if I didn't wear a suit. I wore a suit with him, and there was one other guy I was on his stage, and I wore a suit with him. That's it.
You speak to clients and stuff.
This is it. This is it. You can almost guarantee I will be wearing jeans with a collared shirt and some black shoes. It's almost universal. The only question is whose black shoes? What color?
Black shoes,
yeah, I know, right? But yet they don't look too down. They don't look too up. Again, a lot of thought goes into this so that I don't ever look like a salesperson, but I sell stuff. That's the whole point. I'm breaking down barriers so that I fit right in. You never notice. Yes, I was taught all of these things. Part of it from Toastmasters, part of it from learning how to, remember I said pattern interrupts? How I am dressed is a complete pattern interrupt. Completely. Intentionally. Pattern interrupt.
Yeah, I'd much rather have someone come in casual clothes.
I didn't hear you.
No, I'd much rather have someone come in casual clothes, like, up nice dressed, but not like in a business suit.
Right.
I hate that shit. Because then you're both uncomfortable, and one person's always overdressed compared to the other.
Correct. And remember how he said you don't want your prospect to feel not okay? That's exactly what happens. But like this, I'm not intimidating. There's no way he's going to sell me anything. Right. Yes.
What would you tell a younger Jay?
What would I tell a younger? Start sooner. You can do it. Those tears will be worth it one day.
You guys talk a lot about your properties yet, or no?
No, very few people have actually asked me about the properties. I don't know why. But
how do you acquire the properties that you're passing off, or you're just tacking on like a fee, pass them out?
Okay, that he did ask. I play cash flow with people, though. I know you're like, what? How is that possible? Okay, when you're playing cash flow with people, at the end, I tend to ask people, hey, would you like to do this in real life? Yes, I would. Great. What do you think?
I've never been involved in that side. Like, I do property investment already, like rehab, but
I understand.
Usually like 1 in 10 investors in like a high risk property.
Sure.
The last one we bought was in Chicago. It was $830,000. I put in 90, and in 3 months we made 20% out. We resold for 1.4.
So okay. So you wanted?
I'm curious how you got these smaller properties and that you passed on to. Because I know about like Zillow and stuff like that.
I don't use Zillow. I look for problems, not properties. Yeah, that's the difference.
I only target like foreclosures and stuff.
But you're still looking for properties. I'm looking for problems. People have problems. Properties are listed.
It's like second mortgages that people never get off.
That could be a problem. Yeah, that could be. But I also chase fire trucks because that's a problem.
That's really good.
I also call public adjusters because public adjusters know where the problems are. I'll also call city council or the mayor and say, hey, where are your problem properties? And he will tell me. We've gotten referrals from the mayor of cities we work in. I also look for water damage. That's called a huge problem. And that one's usually advertised on TV. Such and such water main just broke, and look, it's destroying the building, everybody. Awesome. That's on my list.
And those are talking about the bigger properties you buy, right?
I don't care, bigger or smaller. I actually, before I got on the plane to come out here, a fire happened on a small single-family house. The public adjuster now calls me, hey, do you want this one? I'm like, yeah, that one sounds good. Let me know. We go, we'll put that one under contract, sell it to someone, put our rehab crew on it, boom, make some money and move on. Small properties catch fire, big properties catch fire.
If you're like buying them, like for instance, like Zillow and stuff. I don't know if you're buying off that and then just waiting and selling for more.
No, I don't sell. Unless it's something I don't want to manage, like a single-family house. A single-family house costs me money to manage because it's too small.
Do you just look up the land titles then, right? Or you find out like who the owner is?
In what situation?
Like where you're saying, like let's say there's a fire or something, right? So it's like thing burnt down. So would you just go
Yeah.
call the owner? And
Absolutely.
You know what? I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, I won't call the owner. What would you say then? Well, in that situation, typically the public adjuster calls me because they've already contacted the owner.
Oh, I see.
They're the ones.
And they pass along the name. And
Yeah, correct.
And then how do you do your call what do you say to them?
I don't have to say anything because the public adjuster introduces me to them, and I go, "Hi, I'm the guy that's interested in buying your property."
What has been your biggest real estate, like, holy shit, man, I could have really
Got it.
Thank God I didn't do that.
Thank God I didn't, or thank God, or oh my God, I can't believe I did.
Your worst, like, action, your best action, with the outcome.
Best action is I started, period. Because most people... No, you don't understand. You're discounting that.
Where a property was like, holy shit, like I shouldn't invest in this, or you almost like invested into a bad property. Like I heard the story of you investing into the bad property, and everything went up, belly up. And
yeah, which time?
And that's what I'm saying. It happens so often. What has been a serious red flag? You're like, whenever you walk into something, you're like, oh shit, well I'm not touching that. Where's the borderline? And obviously you touch fires and water damage, which is most.
The borderline for me is when I can't move the criminal element. I can't move them. I will buy something that's in the middle of the gang territory because we know how to move them to the next street at least. I can move them, but if I don't feel like I can successfully buy enough of a geographic area to move them, to push them out, then I won't do it. Like there's
same thing with Section 8. You can buy it even if...
No, because Section 8, nobody wants to get hit by a stray bullet. So, but if I can't move them, then I won't do it. But if I can move them, I'll do it. That's usually the cutoff point. If I don't feel like if all I can do is buy like a 12-unit building and it's surrounded by other stuff and I can't get control of the street, because that's usually what I'm looking for at that point. I want to own the street. If I can own that street, then great. If I can't, problem. Yes.
What do you mean by move?
Meaning, okay, if they like criminal elements, they claim sections of town, they claim streets, they claim they claim certain areas of town. So if I start to own the building, I know how to work with the police and the mayor and everyone else to have them cause those guys so much trouble that they go, man, it's not worth it anymore. Let's move. And then now that they're gone, I can clean this up, fix it, and put the right kind of people in there. We know how to do that. So that's what I mean. If I can't buy it, but I got to buy enough of a street to make it financially worth that. And if I can't do that, then yeah, that's probably my cutoff point.
At what point did you decide to take on certain people on board? I imagine if you just started out, you cannot afford your own fixing crew, right? But maybe at this point, I don't know, do you have your own staff in that sense?
Yeah, I do have an internal staff. And as far as at what point, I waited too late. Where's my book? Because I waited too late to actually bring people aboard, and I should have done it sooner. So I say that as advice to all of you guys. Please do it sooner because you should. But and the second thing that I did incorrectly in that sense was I did not. I'm looking for my notes here. I know it's here. I know that I'm close. So you need to get more creative in how you compensate people. Not all compensation is monetary. Does it make sense? Not all compensation is monetary. Some of it is what they call soft compensation. So my CFO, for example, she used to earn $300,000 a year. I promise you, I don't pay her that. But I give her my entire company. I can't find it. My entire company is run virtually. What does that mean? We have no office. I could literally stay right here for the next year and still operate my business as normal. That's what I could do. My CFO, she's currently in Italy right now. My operations person is currently in Sacramento. Everybody's somewhere. And the point is that part of the compensation is I don't care where you work, long as you get the job done. And for them, that's worth a monetary, quote unquote, discount. There's really no such real thing as vacation days with us. Just work wherever you want to work from, I don't care, go. So she was in the Swiss Alps earlier this week when we were talking. It was funny because we both came overseas at the same time, so we're still in the same time zone. It was like, oh, that's neat. How convenient. It wasn't planned that way, it just happened. So that, there's many different ways. I'm saying bring them on sooner, find a way to pay them, compensate them in other creative ways, here than here.
2 questions. Who was the best first person you ever hired? Like, who were you like, holy shit, thank God I hired this person to save
Financial person. Accounting CFO person. You need them.
Like you found pretty awesome people.
The best.
People in such crazy places.
Because I kissed lots of frogs before I found my prince and princesses.
Nice.
And I did it quickly.
Like, did you search online or did you
Nope.
referrals or what?
I played cash flow.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I also just from before.
Cash flow is brought. I can almost put every resource that I currently have directed to a cash flow game or someone who introduced me to them from a cash flow game. I'm a master at referrals. I don't know what else to say. I'm really darn good at it. Like I said, the reason I do business is to get you to introduce me to everyone you know. That's what I want to know. What's it going to take? Because I may need a resource that you have or know in some way, shape, or form. Well, it's kind of clear now that in order to have business work, it's all about finding the needs of other people and giving them what it is that they want. I mean, I heard it said once, you can get everything you want if you get enough people or give enough people everything that they're looking for. And that is the foundation, along with understanding that you give more in use value than you take in cash value. And most importantly, understand that you got to improve the quality of life of your customer. It's awesome to be able to talk to you guys, and I'm glad that you've listened. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.
Thank you for investing your time with Jay Massey and the Cash Flow Diary. When you have a moment, please visit iTunes and leave a positive comment about the show. And go now to our website, cashflowdiary.com, to take advantage of our free business building course, Cash Flow Foundation. Gain the knowledge, understanding, and skill that will teach you how to never need a job again. Until next time.